Welcome to another edition of Very Vogue with me, Val Kleinhans. I have the lovely Vanessa Owens. She is one of my favorite content creators on IG. She's into fashion, body positivity, mental health awareness, and all the food. Vanessa, you are here because you're Very Vogue. Welcome, girl. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful. It's an honor.
Yes, I love your style. I love following you. And just to let you know, like one of my favorite things about the way you style yourself is that you're not afraid to mix prints. That's what caught my attention at first. For some
Oh,
of
really?
us, yeah, I mean, for some of us, we can be a little bit scared of prints and colors. I mean, it takes time to learn. So, how did you learn to embrace the art of print mixing?
I've never cared, babe.
Yeah.
I don't care about matchy, or if I do match, I'm matching like several colors or patterns together, if that makes sense. I don't know if you remember the white and black outfit a few days ago, the checkers, the different patterns.
The houndstooth sort of print. Yeah.
Yeah, and I matched my orange shirt and my pink purse to orange socks. They were orange and pink, if that makes sense. But other than that, didn't feel really matchy. I don't know. I've just always worn what I wanted. I didn't really care if it went or not, as long as it made me happy, I guess.
Yeah. Do you have any personal rules at all when it comes to styling yourself? Anything you
No,
will or won't do? Okay.
whatever I want, whatever I feel comfortable in that day, and that changes depending on if I'm having a body image day or if I'm not comfortable, or we all have those days where we change like 50 times, or we put on one thing and we
Hmm.
just go. It's very different. It's just very kind of easy peasy, or it's a mess that day. It's always different.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did that this morning where I went through like five different blouses and I was like, I can't pick one for work. And I was like, any and realistically, any of them would have been fine, but I just couldn't settle on one. I have those days all the time.
Yeah, and they're normal. It's okay. You just gotta kind of go with it and not be too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Where does that come from? Just your ability to go with the flow and really not think too deeply about any of it.
um, I honestly don't know, sweetheart. I really don't know. I just tired or hit a point somewhere in my youth where I just was tired of caring. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's exhausting to be on all the time, and I don't know. I wish I had a better answer. I just really maybe it's maybe the it's kind of always been like that, but maybe the last few years more, and especially with this platform and community, it's been way easier. Oh my god! But yeah, I just want to be authentically me and do the best I can. And I'm having so much fun with my clothing like I never have before. And I hope others are starting or can be on that same path, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think you are inspiring others, and that there's a lot of truth to what you just said. When you have that solid community behind you, and
Yeah.
they're following you on social media, and they're gassing you up, they love what you're doing. Well, then you're more confident naturally in
Yeah.
what you're doing. It makes sense. So, how do you think you attracted the right people to you? Was it being authentic?
I, I mean, I think a little bit, but really kind of just trying to engage and love whatever I felt comfortable with and what I wanted to see, if that makes sense. And when I started being supportive and being a hyper and insta bestie, it kind of just flipped and also came my way.
Hmm.
Um, and it just worked out. If that makes
Yeah.
any sense.
It does, because I mean, what else do you do? I don't know. This is the fun thing about social media, and this is, I think, what keeps it exciting for me too, is that there
Yeah.
are no rules. That like you
Yeah.
can you can try anything. You can post something one day and then post something completely different another way. Someone's gonna like it, someone's not gonna like it, whatever. There's another day to post. Yeah.
You kind of can just do whatever you want. There's a lot of freedom.
Mhm.
And a lot of accounts are different, but I don't know. I have a lot more freedom with mine, if that makes sense. I'm not really constricted. I don't have a lot of deadlines or contracts, or I kind of just do
Yeah.
negotiate it to where I do have that freedom, and I'm only going to do what I'm mentally and physically capable of, and no one's going to push me to do otherwise.
Period. Period. She said what she said. That's it. That's the right vibe.
Yeah.
Well,
We
so
we all should.
yeah, how long have you been doing well, just been public on social media?
Um, Officially, August was a year. But I
Okay.
had a few times before that, sweetheart. It was just very overwhelming. I didn't kind of know what I was doing, but I had to get over the initial fear of I'm out there and it's public, and because you're
Yeah.
accepting that time, even though it's such a beautiful community, and I'm so grateful, you're also accepting uh a lot of moody booty judgmental.
Well, not everybody's nice. That's just a fact. Yeah.
Yeah. So but when I kept it and I kept going with it, we're about a year in, sweetheart, as of August. And
Yeah,
it's
that's
been,
awesome.
yeah.
And it's still a positive place for you. It seems like you still have nurtured a wonderful community for yourself.
Yes, yes. I've learned a lot. It's been a year of a lot of healing and learning and trying to figure out what I want my page to be and represent. But I'm very grateful to be here and I'm having so much fun. It really it's changed my life. I feel like it's given my life purpose I didn't know I needed, if that makes sense. It's a
Hmm.
community I feel safe with, and I have, I don't know, just friends you would have never had before. I don't know. Everybody's just so much more obtainable online, and but it's not overwhelming. If it were like meeting, hundreds of people in real life or something, that would be too much, I think, for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I get very, very socially shut down, but
Hmm.
I'm grateful for what I have in this, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. And style and fashion is not the only thing that you post about. You're in Washington. A lot of us tend to think Seattle when we hear Washington, but you are
What?
not in Seattle. You are in Spokane. So, what is one thing everybody should know about Spokane?
Oh my God! It has. I mean, like big town city. It's not a small town or anything, but
Hmm.
it's like a major county, but it kind of has a small town vibe.
Mm,
Businesses and communities that really support each other, and there's always something to do, but it doesn't feel like I. The only way I can explain it is like where I'm from Southern California, so when you think of LA, you think California, but it's
right.
just like so much. But here's just different. It's very beautiful. We fell in love with it, and I'm so grateful to be here. It's really amazing. I feel like I can be at water or a park within 10 minutes in every direction I want to leave my house. So it's really cool. And we
Yeah.
have evergreen pines, evergreen trees in this state. So it's always, even when it snows, it's always, you have pine trees that are green. It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, the coffee house scene is like really big here. I know in some states it's the same, but legit, I feel like you can walk 200 feet in every direction. And there's a new coffee place to go to or try and support. So we do that a lot, but it's very beautiful. What was the question?
That was the question. Just tell me that was it. You answered it perfectly. Just tell me some of your favorite things about where you live. What is your coffee order? Because everybody has their favorite thing.
Oh, girl. Anything pumpkiny, spicy, appley,
Yes.
tea. I
Yes.
love trying different teas. I like to try something new every time I go somewhere. Um, just to kind of experience it, if that makes sense.
Oh
And we
my
always
God.
get
Yeah.
to go with whatever that drink is. I love trying all that stuff.
Yes.
It's
I love trying new things too. It's so fun. And it's like, I've never done this before. I went to like a brand new Native American restaurant in Minneapolis, which for me is like about an hour away. And they have some like really interesting types of meat, like bison, venison, elk, all this other kind of stuff. And then I tried like this white berry tea and it wasn't bad. I was like, okay, yeah.
that sounds amazing. I wonder what that is. White berry tea. I have to look it up now.
It tasted good. It was just kind of earthy, but overall it was fine. And then all of the meat came with like this. They called it a wajabi glaze. It's like this berry glaze on top of the meat. And I was like, why am I tasting peanut butter and jelly? But it's actually meat, and it was tasty.
That sounds amazing. Oh my God, that sounds so good. It's so to try new things.
Yeah, it's important. And I'm kind of, I mean, people tell me I'm a picky eater, but I'm like, no, I just like original recipes. I eat a lot of things plain. Cheese is
Yeah.
kind of like my only condiment, and I really don't mix things together very often. But this I was willing to try because I felt like it was so rare. Like we need more restaurants like that.
I love cheese. I'm obsessed with cheese. But I'm glad you went somewhere, even though it was maybe out of your comfort zone. It sounds like you had a good time.
Yeah,
Do you live
that's how you got to
away?
do it.
Yeah. Do you live far away from everything?
Kind of. I mean, I live about an hour and a half outside Minneapolis. I'm in Rochester, Minnesota, which is, if you've heard of Mayo Clinic, it's the home of Mayo Clinic. That's pretty much what we're known for. Giant hospital. Yeah.
Okay.
And but I'm not originally from here. I'm originally from Pittsburgh, so it has been a ride just learning the area, learning the region, finding where I fit in with all of it, dealing with the winters, which are like 5 months long. Like,
Also, it's like a dramatic life change that kind of was the same for me too. It's an adjustment.
yeah, from LA to Spokane.
Yes, yes, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we were outside of LA, but everything in Southern California feels like LA. If that
I mean, if
makes-
people, yeah, it's kind of how it is with Pittsburgh too. Even if you live like an hour outside of it, you still say you're from Pittsburgh just because
yeah,
people don't
yeah.
know it otherwise.
It's hard to explain otherwise. You're like, it's just the same.
Yeah, well, we'll just call it that. What's good enough? I know you also love posting about mental health and disability awareness too. Why is that important to you?
Just some things I deal with in my own life. I still consider myself very private, even though I have a public account, but all that stuff means a lot to me and should be shared. I don't share everything, but I love being able to be a form of support and getting support back. There's just a lot out there. I may be like more okay talking about mental health and like having like as needed medication, or really just being able to talk about that it affects my life in a really debilitating way sometimes.
Mm,
And no one talks about it enough. But I found a big community for it online with this platform, and I feel like I have support, and I feel like I am supportive, if that makes sense. But we just need to not stop talking about mental health. We need to not give up on that. It's not as common, or I don't know if saying mainstream is the right way
I
to put it.
understand what you mean.
Yeah, we need more of that. And so I kind of want to be a little bit of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it makes total sense. That's the whole reason that I talk about it, or that I have a podcast on it too. That, I talk with experts and peers is how I look at it. Anybody else dealing with the same things. I mean, mental health is so varied. There are so many like subtopics that go under the giant umbrella. Like it's not just anxiety and depression. And my hope is that we carry the conversation on about all of it, because there is no consistent journey for all of us.
But I just don't want anybody to be embarrassed anymore or feel like they're
Mhm.
alone, or I don't know. I just wish it was like this when we were younger. I wish that we had more representation, and wish things were more open and talked about. So I'm very grateful for where it's moving towards. Don't think we're I can't talk. I don't think we are where we should be, in loving each other and supporting each other, and just kind of having it to be more normal, if that makes sense.
Yeah, normalize it. That's what I would rather do too. And normalize and destigmatize. That those
Yeah.
those are the keys. Because yeah, once we become more comfortable talking about it, then I think that's half the battle. I didn't realize. I mean, I came from a family that was pretty comfortable talking about it. I knew about my parents' struggles. I knew about their prescriptions. And once I left home, I was like, oh, not every family does this. And I I was like,
Yeah, and but do you feel like having that support when you were younger allowed you to help others in some way?
it made me more comfortable talking about the subject in general, which I didn't realize was a struggle for a lot of people, but it is. And I understand why, because it's you when you do that, you put yourself in a really vulnerable place, and not everybody's comfortable being there. And I completely get it, but I just wasn't aware of that.
They're not comfortable, or people use it against you, or are
Mm.
mean to you? for it. And so it's just a mess. But I kind of am grateful that I kind of grew up like you a little bit. I have family that actually worked in mental health.
Mm.
And so it was very much talked about and checked in on. But when you hit a certain age, you're like, oh, not everybody has that. It's not like that. And some situation was even embarrassing for me because I would be so open or vulnerable and people didn't know how to handle it.
Oh.
That could also be, did you ever go through that a little bit too? Like you were just okay.
Um, I've shared like my suicidal ideation story, and I've gotten blank stares before. I'm like, okay, I went too deep. we went there way too quickly. Yeah,
Oh, but it's not their fault. It's just
yeah, it's a
you
lot.
have.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of us, speaking of this, just define body positivity differently too, whether we're talking about our physical health or our mental health. So I wanted to ask you, because I know this is important to you as well. How do you define body positivity?
Um, that's always a hard question because there's like 1,000 different answers for me. I like I'm only a year in, but I had no idea what body positivity, body neutrality, body acceptance, any of that kind of stuff really was.
Mm-hmm.
For me right now, it's just having more days where my body doesn't bother me, the way I look doesn't bother me, and
Mm,
having more days of where I'm like really into myself and how I look that day, or it's my own way of being creative and loving myself, if that makes any sense. But it could be so many different things for so many people. This it's hard to talk about a little bit because some people fight about it, like
mm.
or have too much of a comment on other where people are in their journey on loving themselves and their body positivity. But I just think we need to be supportive, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't, whatever journey you're on, just kind of be patient with yourself and patient with others.
Yeah, that's the key. And I know you extend that to your followers, and your followers share that with you in return, which I think is why you end up just being in a happy place whenever you're posting, or at least when I can see, like every time I see you in like your outfits or the pumpkins, y'all can't see her, but she got the pumpkins on right now. She's ready for spooky season. We're ready.
You noticed? You noticed?
I did.
Damn it, they're somewhere.
I like it. I love the authenticity. The love for pumpkins, because that's part of your handle too. Where does that come from?
I don't know, and I feel so stupid. I just, I don't know. It's so dumb to be so in love with a little thing, but like I have pumpkin decor all over that's like not orange, it's like cream or white or
Hmm.
actual. It's everywhere. I don't know. I heard that nickname younger when I was little. I always wanted. I was like, I wanted my nickname. I wanted to be called Pumpkin. Nobody ever called me that. But then when I got older, I was like, I'm just gonna use it as that, and it kind of stuck. And so now I get called that, and I love it. But I don't know. Pumpkins feel, they represent happiness at a time of year where the weather gets cooler and it's more about togetherness and my favorite fashion and foods, and it's everything.
Yes, let's get into the foods too, because I love that you're a foodie. The spicy nugget post with McDonald's was one of my favorites. Do you dip your nuggets, and what sauce do you use?
Everything, babe. I like trying them in everything. It was the first time I was actually trying them, so like I have to do ranch, mustard, barbecue, everything. I ended up liking them both barbecue, which was weird, but it tasted good.
Okay, I'm taking notes, because I think the most adventurous I might be is ketchup, but I'll take notes. I'll trust your judgment.
They're gonna be good with that too.
What are some of your other favorite things to eat or post about when you're eating?
I love trying new things. I'm trying to steer away from only doing Mexican food or only doing pizza. I need to try more things. Or I'm a real big sweet tooth, but like not candy. It has to be like pastries, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
But when it goes to like the profile thing, I just like to support local businesses, and I want them to know that they have my support and I'm there for them, if that makes sense. We have so many different restaurants, bakeries, coffee houses, just everything. So I'm having a lot of fun, but I haven't even hit maybe a quarter of places I could go. It's just there's so many. So it'll be a never ending list of new things to try. But I love everything. At
Yeah.
home, I'm more different. I cook it's a hit or miss sometimes. My poor husband. Like sort of mixing things and making different recipes. I'll never write anything down or like share a whole bunch, but I definitely, yeah, cooking at home is kind of an experiment, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely is. Then, but to me, I look at like going out as a treat anymore because most of the time we do eat at home. And so I'm like, when we go out, I'm like, ooh, I want to try. I either want to try something new or I want to just get something that I know I'm gonna love. And I'm with you on the Mexican and pizza. I will put away a pepperoni pizza like nobody's business. It just is what it is.
Do you like what's your favorite kind of pizza?
I will do just a regular cheese pizza because to me, if you start there, then you start to find out the quality of the pizza from that location. Then if they mess that up, they can't do nothing. That's how I look at it.
Oh my God, I'm so basic though. I just love, yeah, I'm not that judgmental. I just love all pizza.
I'm Italian. My dad's Italian, so it's with us. So I'm a little bit more of a critic. Yeah.
I'm Mexican, so like if I go somewhere, I'm like, oh no, this is not working. No, right away.
Redo, send it back. This is not it.
I'm like, no, thank you, something else.
Well, what is next for you? What are you excited for? What can we look forward to when it comes to posting?
Um, I'm trying to be, I mean, a joke when I was talking to somebody else, I'm trying to be more of like yes man, if that makes sense. And
Mhm.
I'm trying to say yes to more things, and not let that fear take over. And I'm only capable of that because of people like you and this community that are so supportive. So I'm just looking forward to accepting opportunities and setting boundaries when I don't want to accept certain things.
Yes.
Um, be doing the same thing. I'm having so much fun and I'm so grateful. Um, and I'm doing what I'm mentally and physically capable of, and that's it. And I do take breaks. I don't post every day. I don't plan everything I do around my platform. So I'm still very much protecting my peace and my energy, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
But just moving forward, I think I'm looking most forward to is community. Yeah,
Yeah.
just staying into the community.
Yeah. And that growth. And since it's spooky season, I want to play a little bit of a game. Fill in the blank. Very simple. Fill in the blank. The best way to have spooky season is, or the best way to spend spooky season is.
Pumpkins, coffee houses, spending time outside, wearing pumpkin items, planning for holidays, watching more the classics like Hocus Pocus or things like
Yes.
that. Anything like haunted, or I know you had like the haunted podcasting. I'm really into those.
Hmm.
Not so much gory stuff. I don't really care. I feel like I'm inappropriate. I laugh at those movies, and people are like, "What the hell?"
Because it's fake and it's so obviously fake. That's what cracks me up.
Laugh too. Then I was watching it too, and I was like, people are like, "What the hell's wrong?" Yeah, so I'm not really into gore. It doesn't. I'm not. I don't get spooked in that way. But it's a fun time of year for me. I love doing all that stuff.
Yes, love to see it. Can't wait for what's next. Vanessa, thank you so much for hanging out with me and thanks for the chat.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor. I appreciate you so very much.